Alright, Travis Wayne Goodsell. Just got back from my run, so I've got Tongue and Groove in my mind by Slaughter. And thanks to my excellent Mormon sex education, I have no clue, or had no clue. I do have a clue now. I had no clue what that meant. I'm sure it just refers to lips, right? A woman's lips. Yeah. Because of joining Xfinity, I found out the hard way that they keep track of my data usage, and December I went over somehow. I'm not exactly sure why, but already I'm on track this month to go over a second time, which is the violation, and so I've already contacted them, and I'll change to another plan to have unlimited. But I always check my Gmail and also the spam for stuff that may get mistakenly put in that folder. But it's also curious that back in 2014 I was involved in dating sites, and apparently those dating sites sold my data to third parties, and those third parties happen to be porn sites, and apparently my data has been breached on several other areas where my stolen data or sold data was to blame for that. So isn't that great, guys? There's a threat looming over America, and we have a government that refuses to stop it. UK and Europe has stopped it when the Cambridge Analytica guy testified. But when he testified before our Congress said, who cares? Let our people suffer. So, a couple of business notes before I get into the dream I had this morning. There's one woman who commented in regards to I can't remember what my video was, but she commented, "Are you referring to Kirstie Allen, who said that there were baby sacrifices in the basement of the Salt Lake Temple?" I don't think so. There is a woman I'm aware of who had been suing the church, and I think she must have won because she's silent now. She was raped by her mission president in the MTC, not the basement of the Salt Lake Temple. There's another woman I'm aware of who gave a lecture in the UK. She was talking about the church's abortion scandal and adoption criminal allegations. I don't think it was her. And so the last thing I could think of is the BBS reported on their transcripts or their website that President Nelson had been involved in, as a medical doctor, aborting babies and eating the fetuses. Feti, I think it's supposed to be technically. And that he's now a child pedophile. That may be close, but there are some problems with those claims about Nelson. First of all, he was a heart specialist. He was not an OBGYN. He would not be involved in delivering babies. It's possible that in the early days he may have, but it would be weird for him to be doing that kind of thing starting out as a doctor. But somebody else had informed me that Nelson was also involved in disabling Benson before Hunter replaced him by doing brain surgery on him. Again, Nelson is a heart surgeon. He's not a neurologist, brain surgeon. He's not an OBGYN to deliver babies. Doctors specialize. And so when I hear reports like this, where the facts don't match the facts, I have to question the validity of the claims that people are making. As much as it would be great to prove that the leaders of the church worship the devil and dance naked in front of him, or his idol statue, and that they kill babies and rape teenage girls, all that would be fun and good, but if it can't be proven, it shouldn't be declared as fact. And so I'm a little bit skeptical about those kinds of claims. With the babies sacrificed at the basement of the Salt Lake Temple, that's another one also, which is why I'm skeptical. I've cleaned the Salt Lake Temple. I've been in the basement. There's no good place to sacrifice babies in the basement. It's just not conducive for that. The temple, being a building that has altars, those would be on the ceiling level, not the basement. So if any babies were to be sacrificed, they would be done so in the ceiling rooms, if they were to be done at all. So again, I'm skeptical by people making such claims when the more logical is, even though hard-fetched, fact would be something else. There was a guy who proclaimed himself to be the Messiah, who was in contact with me, and he was regularly going around telling everybody that he's the Messiah because Jesus Christ took him to one of the spires on the Salt Lake Temple. And so I asked him, why didn't Jesus take you into the Holy of Holies of the Salt Lake Temple, which is in the celestial room, in the middle of the 3 ceiling rooms, where there's a potted plant in front of the door most of the time to keep people from looking in. And never heard back from him. It's because the Bible makes it very clear the purpose for a temple is to meet with the high priest in the Holy of Holies, and there communicate with God's chosen vessel on earth. And so it's those little details that people need to get right in order to be taken more serious than they're trying to proclaim to others. So yeah, if you can establish this Kirstie Allen with the video link, I'll take a look at it and verify that yes, she is making the claim, and I'll approve the comment, but otherwise I can't do that. And again, for the one commenter who keeps trying to push that the church is in league with the Democrats, Clintons specifically, in a devil-worshipping pedophilia, whatever, I don't know, but criminal behavior. I told you I'm not going to post your comments that include that already confirmed false theory. I know you think it is, but again, you're not looking at the real facts of the consequences of your speculations. And I replied to you as to why. It would mean that the Clintons are not really Democrats, that they're actually Republicans, in order for the church to be in league with them. Because the church are white supremacist, Nazi, KKK lovers. I've got a whole multi-volumes of books to support that. The church is not in league with Democrats for a communist agenda. They're in league with Republicans for a Nazi white supremacist agenda. If you're not paying attention to Utah news, Governor Herbert is on his way out. And on his way out, he's doing a whole bunch of inhumane things to leave his legacy on Utah. The main one is that he's trying to exterminate the homeless. And he's arresting anybody who dares speak out in defense of the homeless. And so, yeah, Utah is facing a crisis in this election year. And so, again, you have to confirm that the Clintons are actually Republicans. Which, if that were the case, that would defeat your whole theory in the first place, as them being Democrats. Because they'd have to be Republicans and not Democrats. And so your whole concept blows up in your face. So again, don't be trying to put off some whacked off conspiracy theory, which is an incorrect usage of the definition. Because I'm not going to accept it to let it go public. If you want to publicize your nonsense, you have to do it on your own channel. And like you say, you have a radio station, or you have access to a radio station where you get to tell everybody this. And Missouri is an alt-right place that they're dumb enough to believe you. So, my dream. Yesterday, I found that the clerks still refused to file my motion on Friday for the recusal of the judges on the docket. The clerks are now getting themselves in trouble in order to protect the church, causing as much of a delay as they can for the inevitable, because the church is destroyed. The clerks and the judges' missteps are supporting the church and allowing the church to commit crimes when this should have been handled swiftly, and we would have gone to a hearing trial where I would have crushed the church there. Instead, the church has more evidence against them because of the inappropriate actions of the judges and the clerks. So that's why you can't defend criminal behavior, Mormons. it gets the church in bigger trouble. Yeah. But in my dream this morning, I dreamed that I was assigned a new judge, and that his name was Wheelcock. I confirmed, is it Wheelock? And I was told Wheelcock, because if it was Wheelock, it is a possible descendant of Mr. Wheelock, who gave Joseph Smith the six-shooter in Carthage jail, which would be an interesting irony, or I guess irony, or symbolism, I guess. But yeah, so if it's Wheelcock, then it's not a relative. So I thought I'd take you on a journey as I find out for the first time if there is such a judge named Wheelcock, or if it is a symbolic name. Judge it's not, I'm only seeing Wheelock, not Wheelcock. Utah. Yeah, Wheelock. 1941. Okay. What? Here's a registered to Wheelock. He was the guy in court over Wheelock's 1985 Ford. Okay, so apparently there isn't. So let me check the Utah Federal Court of Judges. Okay, I'm not seeing a Wheelock on the list, so let's click on. Okay, U.S. District Court Judges for the District of Utah. We have John Augustine Marshall, Tillman Davis Johnson, Willis William Ritter, Albert Sherman Christensen, Alden Jr. Anderson, Bruce Sterling Jenkins, David Keith Winder, John Thomas Green Jr., David Sam, D. Vance Benson. That, I found my old lawsuit that set up the 2008 attack on me. It was Benson who set me up for the fall in 2008. It was 2006 when he denied me suing anymore. So Kimball must have been the one that was first assigned. I don't have access to that, although I got the case number, but they require me to pay in order to see the docket. But that would have been 2006 when that all occurred. So yeah, right after I finished attending the University of Utah in anthropology of the Middle East. Tina Campbell, Dale Kimball, that's the guy who I motioned for recusal, and he said, "I've handled many cases where the church was a defendant." Yeah, that's why I'm recusing you. Because you're compromised, dumbass. Now he's been promoted and elevated to a higher stature than he deserves. Brian Theodore Stewart, Paul G. Castle, Clark Waddups, that's the current one. He's also Mormon. He's the one I also had recused, because you are beholden to the church, not to America, not to independent judicial standing, as you are supposed to be, having taken an oath of office. David Ogden Nuffer, Robert James Shelby, Jill Ann Parrish, Howard Curtis Nielsen Jr., and David Bruce Barlow. So let's look for magistrate judges. Magistrate judgeships. Alright, that's not a list, guys. Judicial salaries, courts, district courts, Supreme Court, federal courts. Not what I'm looking for. Okay, well, let me search for Utah Federal Court Magistrate Judges. Okay, here's something that has magistrate judges. There we go. Okay, Chief Magistrate Judge Paul M. Warner. Magistrate Judge Evelyn First. She's the one that needs to be recused, as I posted. Magistrate Judge Paul Kohler. Magistrate Judge Dustin B. Peed, Magistrate Judge Cecilia M. Romero, and Magistrate Judge Brooke C. Wells. Okay, so the symbolism is what it is. So maybe it is Wheelock and not Wilcock, because apparently there's no such name as Wilcock. So it is symbolizing a judge who gave Joseph Smith, or a man who gave Joseph Smith the 6-shooter, so I'm to receive a judge who will give me the 6-shooter to symbolically shoot at the church, or the church, as they come running up the stairs, if you don't know the true history of the church. Alright. Interesting. Okay. Alrighty, so that was it. Oh, Steven Seagal's latest DVD is out today, I do believe. Those of you who are interested. I know Utah was a big follower of Steven Seagal in the day. Now he's a Russian. He's Russian. He defected. So it shouldn't be available until after 10 Pacific time, because that judge's ruling way back in the video days. DVD. No, got those. There's new one. Come on, guys. No, not attrition. Not street. I've got his whole collection, if you didn't know. And I'm not head-to-head. Seagal versus JCVD. Jean-Claude Van Damme. Okay, that's just a collection of movies, hate films. Okay. Alright, they're not showing it, so I'll have to refer to, that's the movie listing. Put those in a different place. Beyond the Law. Okay. Steven Seagal. Beyond the Law. Beyond the Law, there it is. And Blu-ray is Prime, but the DVD is not Prime. Oh, he's back with DMX. Did DMX defect also? Or is this an old one that you pieced together? And Johnny Messner. DMX looks old. My goodness. And Steven Seagal looks kind of young and thin, so he must be piecing together old stuff. In stock on January 24th. Ah, they did it again. So again, they don't have stock on the day it's supposed to be released. So it's gotten pushed back to the 24th. Russia, if you're listening, you're not behaving nicely. Okay. The last movie, The Attrition DVD that came out for Steven Seagal, I actually had to contact the Russians through YouTube to get them to release it. And it worked. They tried to be butts about it then too, as they said, oh, it'll take 6 months for delivery. No, guys, that's not helping me. But yeah, that's how they work. You know, if you want something, you gotta be tortured for it. And you gotta do them favors, and I won't do them favors, so they say, okay, well, we're not gonna be in any rush to get you what you want then. So, screw you then. Alrighty, this has gone way too long. One more thing, Janet, you've been great making comments, but there are some comments you're making that are too personal, and so for your protection, I'm not accepting those for public view. I hope you understand that. Personal stuff should be kept personal. I appreciate your sharing with me, and as I'm sure you are aware that I review my comments, and so that, just in case you're wondering, that's why I'm not accepting a certain number of your comments, is because of the personal nature that you're sharing with me. So I have been reading them, but for your safety, I'm not showing them to others.